Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Richard Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back, and today I wanted to share with you guys my thoughts and opinions and just general feedback about the Barkingham Chronicle update, which we had released July 1st, but we know which was taken down earlier in June. So I just wanted to talk about it with you guys. As you can see, I have the Potbelly challenge mode outfit. You can get this outfit similar to all the other challenge mode stuff by getting all of the challenge mode badges, which is a little lengthy. Why is the phone burning up? Okay, that's just my Discord server. But I'll show you some of the badges and we'll talk about it. This was a fun update. You know, I still have some obvious complaints. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So yeah, there was a lot of like challenge mode badges here, and some of the badges or some of the standard mode badges will give some spellments, and which is another thing we will be talking about. So let's just go back in time to when it first launched in, well, basically the main update around June 3rd. So around June 3rd, it released a little bit early, which I kind of figured it had released early, just because the Aquila Chronicle update also kind of released later on. Most of the time for these updates, not every single piece of content is released on day one, and unfortunately, they did have to take it down when they did release it way too early, and a lot of players were pretty upset because it was pretty much ready for the meantime. But there were a lot of issues, and I wanted to read this last statement in here from this announcement. But players who access the content, who, while it was available, only received loot from the existing content pool, the intended Barkingham Spellment rewards will not begin dropping until the content is officially released. Okay. Following feedback received after the release of the Aquila Chronicle update, right? We have doubled the spellment drops, the spellment drop rates in challenge mode for all Chronicle content, including Aquila and future Chronicle releases. Players can experience this change by running the previously released Aquila content. When the Barkingham Chronicle is officially released, it will follow the same reward structure, including the increased challenge mode spellment drop rates. So, from June 4th, they took it down, and now it's till July 8th, and they released it till July 1st. So, pretty much almost near a whole month, we have problems. And this comes in from Community Manager Mickey. Hi, everyone. We identified an issue with the loot drops from a couple places in Buckingham Palace Chronicle update. You cannot... Look, guys, I try to love this game. I'm not joking with y'all. I'm trying. I'm just reading what's on the Discord server, okay? I'm trying, okay? In the State Wing, the last boss and the second chance chest both had some loot tables that would sometimes fail to drop spellments. In the rooftops, Dr. Jackal was dropping the wrong items. Dr. Jackal's second chance chest sometimes failed to drop spellments. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. And then there's more. Update on two things regarding the Barkingham Palace. We're still investigating a resolution for players who opened up the second chance chest. We're now investigating reports that the Barkingham Palace challenge mode is not accessible despite purchasing the correct access. We'll share more info on that. Right? Fast forward a little bit. They do a little patch notes here and there. Any affected player got a refund basically from their crown. That's good. And then they're undergoing maintenance again. And then we read the July 7th hotfix. If you haven't seen that already, make sure to check that out, because I also had some nice little hotfixes in as well, but not as much as I would want it to be. But yeah, you kind of see the pattern. You kind of see the problem here. This game kind of feels like a beta. I understand they had to remove it to stagger content, whatever that means. But when you then release it still buggy, it kind of feels like, okay, well, like, I don't know if I don't know what's going on in the office. I feel like there's really a big weird energy in the office at King's Isle. I don't know, like, what's going on there, but it's kind of getting a little bit weird. But I'll talk about the quality of the update. Well, we already did talk about the quality of the update. It released poorly. Let's just talk about the main thing, obviously, which is the, whatchamacallit, the battles. The battles are super easy. They're not too hard. You can just pack in whatever you want, such as wand hits even, and some other attacks that you have. It has to be level 40 and below if you're doing it in challenge mode. Standard mode, you're not really going to get that many spellments unless you level scale yourself down. And that's probably one thing I would probably not like about this whole update, is the whole level scaling situation, right? Now, you can run monster in standard mode all you want, and I think you can get some spellments from here. Obviously, if you do it in, like, you know, challenge mode, you'll get more. And like I said, challenge mode is super easy. But I think the main problem just comes in from spellments and overall what you're going to use these spells for. Because I'm going to be honest, I have only used one of these spells, which is the balance one. It's basically like a little mini blaze storm, but that's about it. I haven't really used any of these other spells. And, you know, I think the problem is that the main casual player base is probably just not going to get these spells or use them to begin with, because number one, you have to farm for it, and then number two, it doesn't really seem like something that the traditional casual player that just blades an AoE will usually equip in their deck, because of course they just want to blade in AoE, and of course this does require work, and of course this is a premium area zone. So yeah, I just don't see a lot of people really using these spells in the Gambit condition. I mean, they are pretty cool, like this one. This will give you a plus 50 Stormblade for 1 pip if you do the Gambit off of a, you know, curse or whatever, the negative charm. So that's good, but I don't know if a lot of people are really going to be farming for these spells. And you also got these ones that do sap mechanics, and that requires you to have, like, a minion on the field. So, again, it's like, I don't know. And then we gotta talk about the minion update, which, you know, I don't like how they have limited deck sizes. Here's another one over here. Yeah, you know, it's just like, I personally wouldn't use these spells. I mean, I'm probably just gonna throw them in my shared bank and call it a day. I'm probably never gonna use these spells. But it's there if you want them. The animations are cool, I guess. It's there. Look, this one can push a trap. That's pretty cool, right? Anyways, let's talk about also the badge rewards, which we briefly showed as well, which also doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me as well. So let's go to the Aquila Chronicle update, and let's go to the badge rewards for that. I think they have separate badges for that. I am not sure. Let's go to Aquila. Where's Aquila? Let me see what they got in here. So here we go. Defeat Poseidon and Atlantia 20 times for standard mode, right? Not too hard to do. A little time consuming, but if you did that, you would get 40 of your school Aquila Chronicle spellments, right? That's an awesome deal, dude. That's great, right? Here's another one. Defeat Zeus and Mount Olympus 35 times. I mean, that's a little bit much, and I kind of do wish that they counted it years in advance, because whenever they add these little defeat updates, you know, it doesn't account for, you know, how long you've been playing this game for. I have already done Mount Olympus 1 billion times, but this was way back in the day. Like, this was way back in the day, right? But regardless, though, it's pretty cool. You get 40 of your school spells, right? You get some good stuff. Defeat Hades, 45, right? This is dope. I love it. You get a lot of spellments for doing that, right? And you're already going to get spellments for doing that in standard mode or challenge mode, whichever way you want to do it. So when we go over to the Barkingham Palace Chronicle update, this is what we basically get. Not this one. This is this one, this one. Defeat the woman's right hand 15 times. You get 7. So you go from 45 to 7 spellments, even after you took the update out. June 3rd, released it back July 1st with still the same issues, probably before even on Test Realm. and it's still 7. That to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, why are we going backwards with that? Like, why are we going backwards with that? I'm pretty sure it said in here that you was gonna follow the same, like, am I going crazy? Is it me? Am I going crazy? Maybe I'm just going crazy. Grandma's off her meds. Like, do you guys see what I'm talking about? Like, this is, am I going crazy? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, right? Defeat noxious gas golem 15 times. 7. Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy, right? Defeat the monster 25 times for 7 of your school Barkingham Chronicle spellments. That is just, I don't know what to say, right? Like, if that's my gripe for, like, that's literally my only gripe about the Barkingham Palace Chronicle update, is that it released in such a poor condition. Like, I don't know, well, what was happening during the whole time of June? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Is there another one in here? Now, if you do it in challenge mode, you get the gold keys. I think the gold keys are way more worth it than just 7 of the... Look, defeat Dr. Jekyll 25 times for a whopping 9 spellments. And then they wonder why a lot of people don't engage in either challenge mode or the Chronicle updates. The only good thing about this entire, and I mean this entire update, is probably the pets. The pets are absolutely insane, especially if you make the hybrid versions. Now, remember, you can actually craft the pets. They are badge locked though, so you will have to do, you know, Billy Cutter like 15 times, or you'll have to do a certain dungeon a couple of times, but you can craft any of these Potbelly pets, right? And the cool thing, if you get a pet from the 1 pack, which I don't recommend you buy the pack because the drop rates, of course, for any loot gambling pack is going to be horrendous. But if you get a pet from that new pet and you follow the little guide, you can make these little hybrid pets. And those hybrid pets, if I can find the mother-loving pack, let me just go over here real quick. Where is the pack? Here it is. If you get one of these pets and you hatch it with a Potbelly pet, you can basically get some really unique item cards, such as hazard cards. And they're basically like little feints. They take a pip, and it's like 65% for the next storm damage. It's insane. And also the regular pets in the crown shop also good too, like balance attenuate plus 25% incoming balance damage. And again, if you hatch them and make the little robo pup, you can get some really good value out of that. So these pets are probably the only reason why I would be farming. Oh my god, what is that? 1 out of 83 chance? Yeah, okay. And then you got the spellments in here, you got some housing items, which also I did hear a lot of complaints for the housing community that whenever it comes to packs, it's really hard to get housing items. But that's an issue that we're going to talk about in a separate video, probably after this. But beyond that, that's my only main stuff I have to say about the Barkingham Chronicle update. So I don't understand why they had to remove it. Maybe I do kind of understand a little bit because it wasn't ready, but I also don't understand why they released it and then it's still broken. Like, I just don't get that. I really don't get that. So I'm hoping, I mean, this is probably going to be the first time in a while where Wizard101 is going to go 0 for 3 for the updates. I mean, we got the new world update. I don't know how they can possibly fumble that, but I believe KI will figure out a way to somehow do that. But we got the new world update in the fall. That's usually when literally everyone only plays the game because nobody wants to go raiding. Nobody wants to do the Chronicle updates. Nobody wants to hatch pets or, you know, nobody wants to do all this other stuff. You know, it's only the new storyline, new level cap, maybe farm a little bit of gear. Honestly, I probably won't even farm the new gear. I still see people wearing Darkmoor gear from like 2014. And honestly, I don't even blame them. Because what's the point of even farming gear at this point? There's like not really much of a point anymore. Especially if you only play the story. Like, if you're only in here for the story, then like, You don't need to farm any gear, man. Especially if it's going to be badge locked. Like, oh, you got to defeat the boss 50 times. Like, no. Just play the game, play the storyline, and that's it, dip. That's pretty much how it is. But yeah, otherwise than that, it's a pretty fun update. I definitely encourage people to try out challenge mode. It's really not that difficult. It will definitely take some time. If you do want to check your stats, I recommend going into the standard mode for rooftops. There will be a level scale elixir to that right side. As you just go straight and you'll see it. And you can basically kind of build your own, like, kind of level 40 gear. If you're a level 180, you want to try and reach level 180 stat caps so that you're reaching your big potential for the level 40 content. But yeah, challenge mode is super easy. It was just super time consuming. Everybody was lovely in the team ups. Just wanted to say thank you for everyone that helped me out in team ups. I met a lot of nice people in there. And yeah, it was pretty fun. But I don't know. It definitely has, like, the quality of these updates gotta get better. Because spell-wise, like, I'm not gonna use any of these spells. Like, if anything, like I said, I'm only doing it for the pets, because the pets are pretty cool. But that's about it from me. Let me know if you guys are going to be rocking with this update. Are you someone that is also farming the challenge mode stuff? Or are you farming the spells? Or are you someone that's not really going to play this game until we do the fall update patch notes for the, you know, the new world? Let me know. I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I got nothing else to say. And until then, peace out.